afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. And I hope you're having a very wonderful day. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me. How is our day going? Are you having a nice day? You can send in your comment. Let me know how your day is going. So I want to see your comments. I want to see your questions pop up on my screen. I'm very interested in knowing how your day is going before I start the live session and the chat, the reason why we're here today. So I'm very interested in knowing how your day is going. It's been a very sunny day in Ibadan. I hope people are having a wonderful time at work, at home. I know the lockdown has been eased in so many states, so people should be at work or at home. I know some organizations are still working from home. If that's your organization, I hope you're having a very wonderful day at home. I hope you're meeting your deadlines and meeting your deliverables too. So this live chat is just going to be for 40 minutes, and it was born out of the need to educate and sensitize people about this trending matter, this trending issue in amongst people these days. And I feel like it is very important. I believe that it's very important to arm people with their with knowledge of their rights, and I believe that when people know their rights and you can't claim ignorance, and it will help you in when you find yourself in situations like that. So my name is Moshibolato Oyedeji. I'm a lawyer. I work with Citizens Gavel. I work as the legal associate and consultant here at Citizens Gavel. So I know so many people might not know what my organization does, but we are a non-governmental organization. We have our offices in Lagos, Abuja, and in Ibadan, but we are everywhere in Nigeria, in the sense that we have volunteer lawyers everywhere in Nigeria. So you don't have to be bothered if you're not in any of the three states that I mentioned before. You can reach out to us. We're a non-governmental organization, and we help people track their cases so as to increase the pace of justice in Nigeria. We also promote transparency and accountability in the justice sector. We also provide legal support, and by legal support, I mean that we give legal advice and legal representation to people who need these services for free. So, and we also advocate for the rights of indigent Nigeria, that's the poor masses in Nigeria. So, as a non-governmental organization, we provide legal support for you. We provide legal support to you for free, and we advocate for your rights too. So this is going to be the first of many series of this Gavel chat, and today we are going to be talking about the legal revenge porn and the law, and the need to be hyper aware before you share. I know people might know the meaning of revenge, people might know the meaning of porn, but some people do not know what revenge porn is. And revenge porn, in other words, is non non-consensual pornography. Yes, that is basically sharing people's nude pictures or videos without their consent. Uh, I know you might have heard about this. It's very rampant these days. I believe that the lockdown was one of the reasons why I think idle and was one of the reasons why this became really rampant during the lockdown. We've handled cases before the lockdown, but during the lockdown, we received more cases about this aspect. And I think that people do not know that it is wrong, it is a crime in Nigeria to threaten or go ahead with your threat and share someone's nude pictures. So revenge porn is basically sharing sexual or explicit images or videos of another person, that is the person in the image or the person in the video, without their consent. So whether the person sent you the video or you got the video from your friend, if you decide to share these images without their consent, it is a crime, and then it is punishable in Nigeria. So I would like to talk about how do people get these pictures. So sometimes people share these pictures by themselves with their partner. This partner can be intimate partners, can be someone they just met, can be friends, can be female friends, because there are situations, we've seen cases where female also threatening to share another female or a male's explicit pictures or videos. So it is very important that people know who they are sending their images to. So sometimes people come in agreement. You see when partners to spice up their sexual relationship, they decide to make videos of themselves while in this act, and they agree. So there's a consent to make the video, but there's no consent to share the video. So it is very important to differentiate between this consent. So people can consent to make the videos together. Someone can consent that you take my pictures while I'm naked, but they do not consent that you share the video. Also, in this time where people engage in long distance relationship, they do video calls, and the other person might screen record or screenshot these images while they are on video calls, and that's how they get into possessions of these images. Some people share with the other person, and sometimes people sell their phones, they sell their devices and forget to clear off their images or their pictures completely from the phone, and then the buyer of the phone or the engineers in most cases see these pictures and then decide or start threatening to share the pictures. So who are the people who experience this the most? It is really important to acknowledge the fact that men also go through this, but women are the ones who experience this the most. Most of the cases we handle, 80% of the cases we handle are from women. Women are the nominal complainants. They are the ones who go through this threat, who are being threatened by mostly men. There are situations where people do not even know who is asking them, who is threatening or who is trying to extort them, but most times the complainants are women. But like I said before, men also have these challenges too. So I would also like to talk about what is used for. Most times when people come into possessions of these images, they start to blackmail the person who is in the image, and they sometimes extort them for money, for help, can be for a position, or can be, most times, financial help actually. And when the person in the image decides not to render this help, they start to blackmail and extort them and threaten them with sharing these images. For example, there was a recent case of Salawa Abeni, the popular female musician. A young boy came into possession of her pictures that she took while she was young. These pictures were explicit, but maybe not in that real sense. But to her, because of her status in the society, it was something she would not want every other person to see. So this boy starts threatening her, and she decided that rather than have this guy extort her, she was going to share the pictures by herself, which was a very good move. But not so many people are confident enough to take that, or bold enough to take that step. She did that. She shared the images herself, and they were able to track the guy, this particular boy that was threatening her, and he was apprehended, and is currently in prison. So I would like to also talk about um, what people should do when this happens. So what is the immediate thing you should do? I hope I'm communicating. I really hope that people can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, can you signify by saying I? You can say I Moshe, I can hear you, or I Moshe, I'm following, I Moshe. Um, and you can also ask me questions. I would like to answer your questions too. But I need to know that people are following, and I need to know that I need this to be as interactive as possible, because I want to believe that everyone knows someone, or has heard about someone, or might have experienced this themselves. So I just need to know that people are listening to me, and that this session is interactive enough. So I would like to see your comments. Thank you, Ms. Taiwo. So I like to see more people's comments. Just I Moshe is fine. I just want to know that I'm not being a radio now, that people are actually listening to me, and that I'm communicating. It's important to know that I am communicating. So just two more comments and I would continue. Thank you, Miss Mercy. So one more person and I will continue. Just say, Moshe, you are communicating. Moshe, I'm listening. Moshe, you are making sense. I just need this to be as interactive as possible. Okay, for anyone who is just joining, because I can see that my number of viewers increased. So for anyone who is just joining, I'm talking about revenge porn and the law. Revenge porn is basically when people threatening the other person to share their nude pictures, nude in the most secular term as possible, and to share their nude pictures. Thank you, Miss Victoria, and thank you, Tolu. Um, it's important that I know that people are hearing me, so thank you very much. So for those who are just joining, I'm talking about revenge porn. Revenge porn is when people try to share, when people threatening or share the person in the image nude picture or video without their consent. So sharing and distributing of explicit images of another person without their consent. I know as I'm saying it, it sounds really ridiculous to people, but it is something that happens. It is something I experience every day. Like, it's something I do not experience. It's something that I know people. I handle cases of people who experienced it, and that is why we felt the need to do this video and to educate people about their rights when it happens, and also to make people aware that it is a criminal offense in Nigeria. It is not only abroad that it is a crime to share someone's nude pictures. It is a criminal offense in Nigeria to threaten and actually go ahead with your threat and distribute someone's nude pictures. This is very common among young boys, especially people in their 20s, mid 20s, and early 20s. You see them discussing about a picture that was shared with them in trust, in confidence, that probably their girlfriend or their friend, and they're discussing it with other guys just to boost their ego or to validate their their manhood. And you see them discussing it. Is very common. I want to believe that even if you have not experienced this, you have seen one boy boast about, oh, the babe sent me a nude pictures, and it is very wrong. It is an offense. Aside from the fact that it is morally wrong, it is a criminal offense in Nigeria. So now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the immediate steps to take when this happens. I'll be noting down your questions, Miss Victoria, and I will answer all the questions at the end of the video, at the end of this session. So I'm going to say that immediate steps to take when this happens. So if you have shared your pictures with someone in good trust and in good faith, that, oh, I know this person and this person, we're in a relationship, because most common people who experience this are partners, and maybe they are no longer interested in the relationship, so the other person starts using that nude pictures as a leverage for them to stay in the relationship. And so the most common cases are jilted partners, can be boyfriend or girlfriend, can be people who are even almost married, so fiancés and fiancées, and sometimes ex-couples. This thing, it might sound ridiculous, but you see people who used to be married start threatening their partners, especially when their partner have a lot to lose, and they start threatening them to post these images just so that they can retain the relationship. And most times it is really hard to, and in other cases, it is really hard to trace who is in possession of these pictures. So I'm going to talk about immediate steps to take when this happens to you. For those who have whose pictures, when you know the person that is threatening you, I think it's very important that you get in touch with a lawyer, or most of, because when you tell people go to the police station to report these cases, where in Nigeria people have seen the other side of police, and then because of the category of people that are in the police force, I say that with all due respect to the police force, because of the category of these people that are there, because of their age, they do not understand that people actually shared their pictures. I recently had a case where I had to go to NSCDC, in this case, and not police, to organize and strategize how to apprehend the culprit. And then I realized that people don't understand that young people do this. So the officer in charge of the case was very angry at the girl, and he was insulting her. Why would you share your pictures? Why would you do that? You must be stupid to have shared your pictures. And although we later went ahead and then we apprehended this guy, but if I was not there as a lawyer, I'm sure that the girl would have been discouraged. She would have left there when the man was insulting her. She would have just given up. So that's why I said, if you think that you can go to the police station and make this report yourself, fine. But if you, sometimes you might need a lawyer to accompany you. So get in touch with a lawyer, and if you think that you have to pay, you can get in touch with an NGO. There's so many non-governmental organizations that help people in cases like this for free. So get in touch with a lawyer. Let your lawyer get in touch with a police officer. They're going to strategize on how to apprehend this suspect. And then you will see that it is better. And in most cases, people just think lawyers complicate matters and all. And you will realize that what you would have said in 100 words, your lawyer will just say it in 10 words, and this thing is going to, you're going to get over these cases faster. But because people like to do things themselves, or they are scared of reporting, they begin to subject themselves to the request of the culprits. Then you see they start negotiating, then they pay. And I need you to understand that blackmailers would always blackmail you. If they get their way with this forced blackmail and extortion, they are going to keep on blackmailing you. So it's never a one-time thing. So if you think that, oh, maybe if I pay this particular sum of money, this person is going to get rid of the pictures, even when they delete it right in your presence, I want you to believe me that they have a copy somewhere, and because they've been able to penetrate you the first time and get the money from you or whatever they need from you, they are going to come back and request for this money. They're going to come back and request for something more than what you had paid initially. So it is important that from the first instance, you try as much as possible to shut down the extortion. So you shut down the negotiation. You don't negotiate with blackmailers. You don't negotiate not just with terrorists, but with blackmailers. So you go to whatever extent you can go to protect your dignity. It is very important that people are very proactive. And also, if these images have been shared if you Google your the image, and the image is on Google page, you can reach out to Google. Google has a self-help center where you can go to legal help. That's Google legal help, and then they will tell you about their steps to create a request on how to remove your images online. So this is for people whose images have been shared. So you can, it's a self-help, it's like a form, so you fill it, you tell them which of the search engine that your images are or images, and then they help you, and then they remove it. If it's another website that is not Google, you can reach out to the admin of the website. You will see at the end of most websites, their admin's contact is there. So you can reach out to the admin and then send them a mail, send if their phone contact is there, reach out to them. And I've seen people remove their videos from Pornhub in a matter of 30 minutes. So all you have to do is send them an email, and then they would follow it up and immediately remove it, because nobody wants a copyright infringement action. So most people are careful about these issues. So aside from that, the legal step you should take when you report to the police starts conducting their investigation. I know somebody's laughing at police. Yes, that is so when you have gone with your lawyer, and then they take your statement, they start investigating. So that is when they start tracking the number. So in cases where people do not know who is actually threatening them, so the police, they have a device that they use to track numbers within Nigeria. So when they impute the person's phone number or whatever phone number is being used to threaten you, they are able to track the location where the person is. And when if it's not within their jurisdiction, they reach out to the other jurisdiction, and then they collaborate together and track the suspect and apprehend them in most cases. And sometimes they strategize with the victim, and then they plan to meet up, they organize like a meet-up session. It could be that to apologize, just pretend to do something, and they meet up, and that is where the suspect is apprehended. So there are a lot of ways. It doesn't have to be police really. It could be it could also be the civil defense. But it is very important that you don't wait till the deed is done before you start taking steps. So it is important that the moment this person start threatening you, you start um, you start taking steps immediately. You reach out to a lawyer, you go and make a formal complaint at the police station, and then they would take it up from them. So I hope that I am making so much sense. If you have any questions, you can just write down your questions. I'm noting the questions, and I'm going to answer the questions as soon as I am done. So I would really appreciate if you start putting up your questions so that I can. So Ms. Bumi said, what particular law makes it an offense? So, and that is my next line of discussion. There are laws in Nigeria that criminalizes this offense of revenge porn. The ground norm of Nigeria, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is also promotes the right to privacy of every individual. So you have Section 37 of the Nigerian Constitution, the right to protect your dignity. So this is the ground norm of Nigeria, and when this law is infallible, everybody has a right to privacy. So whether I have shared my picture with you in good faith, you should not share my pictures with other people. You should not share my explicit images, my explicit video with another person or with the internet at large. So there's the Section 37 of the Nigerian Constitution that protects everybody's right to dignity. And there's also the Criminal Code Act. That's Section 170 of the Criminal Code Act. Is the main law that criminalizes this offense of this. So it says that, so I'm going to read in this, I'm going to read out this section of the Nigerian law, of the criminal code. Sorry. So Section 170 of the Criminal Code provides that any person who knowingly sends or attempts to send by post anything which encloses, encloses anything, whether living or inanimate, of such a nature as to be likely to injure any other thing in the course of conveyance or to injure any person, or B, encloses an indecent or obscene print, painting, photography, engraving book, card or article, or which has on it or in it or on its cover an indecent, obscene, or grossly offensive word, marks, or design, is guilty of a misdemeanor and liable to imprisonment for 1 year. So that is very, like, it is very, so you might not share it online or on social media, but if you post it to someone, you make it a photograph and you start sharing it around, you engrave it on a book, because you might think you are trying to escape the law, and then share it with style, and maybe make it into a photograph and you start distributing, it's an offense. You are liable to imprisonment for 1 year. Would you want to go to 1 year because you shared an image that was entrusted with you? So Ms. Bumi, I hope I've been able to answer your question. Section 170 of the Criminal Code Act. Criminal Code Act is applicable in every state in Nigeria. So there's no state that you would do this, that you would escape, you will go to prison when you are caught. So let's not share people's images. And also there is section 24 of the Cybercrime Act. The Cybercrime Act was started in 2015. So the Cybercrime Act says that, provides that any person who knowingly or intentionally sends a message or other matters by means of computer system or network that is grossly offensive, pornographic, or of an indecent, obscene, or menacing character, or causes any such message or matter to be sent, or it knows to be false for the purpose. This is not the B part of it is not. This is so paragraph 8 in particular deals with revenge porn. The said provision, however, talks about sharing of images. So indecent might not be a complete nude picture. So far, I did not consent that you should share that picture. It might just be a picture of my stomach, and what I regard as explicit is subjective. So you might think that it is just my stomach. I can decide that is my private body, and then you should not be able to share it. So aside from the section 37 of the Constitution, there's the section 170 of the Criminal Code, and there's also section 24 of the Cybercrime Act. I'm sorry. So those are the three laws that criminalizes the offense of revenge porn. So, and revenge porn, most times people are trying to use it to get to the other person. I believe that there are other ways to, if you have been jilted by your partner, there are other ways to resolve this. You could call for a one-on-one meeting, discuss. Communication is very important. It's also important that people have integrity, and then you protect your integrity, because if I trust you with my images and you decide to share it online, probably people would, and then it comes out, no one is ever going to trust you again. So your integrity is also at stake. So now I'd like to ask people, do you think that people should share their nude images? Do you think that the best way to protect this is for people not to share their explicit images, or not take pictures with their partner when they are naked? What is the best way to stop this act? Because yes, I would acknowledge the fact that when everybody decides not to share their nude pictures, this is going to stop. So yes, we have a final solution, and that is not to share at all. But in this age where people are aware of the right to their body, you see people say that it's my body, I can do it, I can do whatever I want with my body. Right, fine, that is. But it's also important that you are also aware of the consequence of whatever happens when you share your image. So are you ready to face the image or the consequence, or you would not share your images at all? My organization, we're not policing you from sharing your image, but it is important that you, as I have listed all these consequences, so somebody can share your pictures now. It may not be now, it might be in future, when maybe you are aspiring for political positions, you are aspiring for important job roles, you are trying to take up sensitive. People change, we are aware of that, but it's also important to know that the internet never forgets. In this age where people store pictures in the cloud, people store pictures, emails, you can always retrieve whatever information you share with people. So are you ready to face the consequence of your action, or you would rather not share? To be sincere, the overall solution is not to share, but you can't police people. You can't police what intimate partners do with themselves. You can't police what people in long distance relationship do with themselves. But it is important that you know who you are sharing your images with, which is never enough, because people trust themselves and then they start sharing these images with each other. But on the long run, when they fall out, the other person starts using it to blackmail, extort, and castigate these people. So knowing them might not be sufficient. Um, that because you know this person, I'm in a relationship with this person. As much as you might change and not share your images again in future, this person too might change and become a bad person. May become people also, as people change and become better people in the society, people also change and become terrible people. So it is important to know that you might never be on the safe side. So um, how do you mitigate this consequence? It is important that you know who you are sharing your images with, because we see cases whereby people have shared these images with so many people, we do not even know where to start tracking from. People have shared this particular image with someone from way back, and they do not know how to start, they do not know who to start investigating from. It is important that we are very careful as in the society. We have cases where people are in the bedroom, girls hostel in universities, people are in the bedroom, they are taking their bath, and then there's someone there taking their pictures. You don't know who your friends are. So when you are there in the bathroom and your friends people are making videos, it's all fun and lovely until the consequence starts. So it is important that we are careful as um, citizens, of as people in the society. You are aware of your surroundings. When you are naked, when you are making video calls, or you are having intimate sessions with your partner, you are conscious that there's no camera somewhere recording you. So also, for people, it is, I think, another way is that if you want to share, you share with people who have things to lose, who have status in the society. I don't know if that makes any sense. I also said that, I already said it before, that the best way to cope it is not to share at all. But if you are going to, know the person, know the person's address, so that when you want to start your case, you would know where to go. No, this person has a lot to lose too. You're not just the one that has a lot to lose. Maybe as you are sharing with the person, you are collecting your own version of the pictures too, so that you are balanced. When you decide to share, I decide to expose you too. As I'm saying it, I know that it might not always work like that. That is why I say the best way is not to share. But if you are going to share, crop out your head. Don't let your something you can be identified with. I think it should be removed. So if you have a specific, maybe a particular tattoo, you have birthmark that your friends might know, maybe you should crop out that part so that people will not be able to easily identify you, that you are the one in this image, or you are the one. Another thing I used to say jokingly is, maybe you should watermark the picture. So if you are sending these pictures to Tunde, watermark it with Tunde, so that when the pictures leak, you will know that it is Tunde that leaked your pictures. Does it make any sense? But people would always share. You cannot say don't share. People would always share, but we have to be careful as individuals. So I like to know your suggestions. What do you think people should do? Should people share, or they should not share? So I like to see your contributions in the comment section. What do you think is the best way? What do you think are the other best ways? Because the best way is not to share at all. But what are the other ways that to mitigate and minimize this revenge porn in the society? Now you are aware that it is wrong to do it. It is wrong to share people's images. It is a criminal offense in Nigeria. It is also important that we give people solutions. So if you want to share, what should you do? So I like to see contributions in the comment section. Thank you, Mr. Victor. It is best not to share at all. I'm glad that people are agreeing with me. The best way is not to share at all. But what is the, let's see, what can we do to people who share at all? Once you share, I think you should be aware of the consequence and then be ready and not now, because we see situations where people are now angry. You cannot be angry at the lawyer because it's not the lawyer that shared the picture. So we are there to help you. That's what my organization, that's what we do. We are there to help you, but now that, before you share, be aware that there are consequences. Might not be now, might not be 5 years. Look at Salawa Benny's own. It's not, it wasn't five, it was, I mean, these pictures were like 20 years ago. The pictures, we don't even know, maybe she took it while she was in the hospital because it looked as if she was in the hospital bed, but someone still gained access to those pictures. Could have been the photographer, who knows, maybe the photographers kept their, kept the soft copy somewhere, and this thing. So look at it, like 20 years later. So back then she wasn't as popular as she is now, and somebody still comes now in 2020 and start threatening her with these pictures. So it might not be now, you might think that you have escaped it now, but in future you don't know, you might decide to run for a political office, to do something important in the society, and then somebody pulls out your image. The person might even be your the other, from the other party, might be your contender, might be your competitor, and then the person just suddenly pulls out suddenly pulls out a brings out these pictures, and then you do not have a, you are there, and then you have to start tracing, and the deed is already done because they've shared the pictures already, so people already have access to it. When, even when you take it down on Google, some people have downloaded these pictures. So what do you do? Like I said, the best thing to do is not to share. Someone said maybe a contract should be signed detailing what should happen to the parties if the pictures or videos get leaked. Fine, there's a contract that if it should be get, it should get leaked. What if the person leaks it before and the person like damns the consequence? You already lost your integrity. This is a very fine solution. It's a very good idea, but in the real sense, the deed has already been done. So it always falls back to do not share at all. But I am not policing you from doing whatever you want to do with your body or with your pictures. But also be aware of the consequence. So Mr. Iwo says, what if the offender is a minor? I mean, a 17-year-old shares someone else intimate. What happens to the minor? There are juvenile courts in Nigeria. There are juvenile prisons in Nigeria. You cannot escape it because you are a minor. So if you share, if your friend, because it's very common. I have a younger sister who is in her teens, in her preteen years, and I know that this lockdown has really caused a lot of idleness among these people. So I know sometimes she tells me that, oh, her friends are having these issues, these revenge porn issues, and they are minors, and they think that because they are young people, and maybe somebody has hinted them that, oh, if you are below 18, you cannot go to prison. That's a lie. There are juvenile prisons. There are correctional facilities now in Nigeria where you would go to if you engage in criminal offenses. So as a minor, being a minor does not what's the English, does not say that go you would not face the consequences of your action. You are going to go to juvenile prison. So Tolu says that, I think you have said it best, that if you are going to share at all, don't share with your face or any other identifiable traits you have on your body. Yes, if you are going to share at all, do not share with anything you can be identified with, because I don't want people who later see these pictures and this video and say that, oh, this auntie is stopping. No, I'm not stopping anything. I'm not stopping any girl from sharing pictures with you. But if these things don't happen, we would not be here talking about it. It's because some men and some women have decided to do this. If people shared their images between themselves and it doesn't get to social media, people do not threaten each other with it, we will not be here talking about it. So if everyone kept their mouth mute and people had integrity, we will not be here having this discussion. It's because of the bad people. That's why we are here. So Miss Love says that most times nude pictures between partners are sent on the spur of the moment, especially between intimate partners. So it's advisable to think about the consequences before clicking the camera button. That's a very good. So stop and think. When I share these images, what is likely to happen? Think ahead. I think when people think about the consequences of their actions in the future, they will be able to make rational decisions. So when you are having a chat, people are happy with each other, and then they send me your pictures, they say, I am all happy and excited, and you click your camera and you say, and you want to say. So before you click the send button, it is important that you think about the consequences of your action. So that's all the questions and contributions I have. So I'd like to know if any other person has questions. I also like to talk about my Gavel, Citizens Gavel. It's not just prevent porn that we handle, not just the cases of prevent porn. So we advocate for human rights. So when you have when you know someone or you have police brutality, extortion, you can reach out to us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can also call us. Our number is on the group on the page. You can call us. We are always ready to help. We are always excited to help. If we cannot, if it does not fall within our case specifications, we can give you legal advice. We can help you we can help you get in touch with another body that can help you. So if you have any other questions, you can send it to our DM. That's for people who would see this video later. If you have any questions, you can send it to our DM. You can reach us on Instagram. You can also reach us on Twitter. And we are always ready to help. Domestic violence, police brutalization, extortion. You can reach out to us. Child abuse, yes, we would help you. So it was very nice talking to everybody. I hope we have been able to learn one or two things from this session, and I hope to see you some other time. Like I said before, my name is Moshe Bolato Oyedeju. So see you some other time.